The pressures of COVID-19 were compounded when video of George Floyd being suffocated to death sparked racial tension and protests across the country.
Ron Burke sat down with a veteran officer who's finding ways to heal himself and his community.
As tempers rage in the streets of America, police officers often bear the brunt of the abuse, while rioters and looters destroy property and livelihoods. These pressure cooker events stoking racial tensions that were festering long before George Floyd's police-involved death.
There's no reason why an officer had their knee on the back of someone's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
George Anthony is an active law enforcement officer who believes cops acted too aggressively in arresting Floyd.
I don't care how much you're fighting. I don't care how much you're resisting. Once the handcuffs go on, the use of force stops.
He believes the many police-involved deaths like Floyd's had triggered in the African-American community decades-old images of cops attacking blacks while upholding segregation. The pent-up frustration then spills into streets, gripping communities in chaos.
If you're going to truly serve a community, you have to know the community. And I think that at times we, as law enforcement, we kind of got away from that.
The 22-year veteran officer says cops are never really off duty because they're trained to always be aware of their surroundings. The stress that creates led him to write a book. The Bulletproof Mindset is about resilience, part of Anthony's therapy in coming back from overwhelming pressures in his professional and personal life that had him on the brink of disaster last year.
I was sitting there, had my gun sitting on the table, and actually thought about ending it all. I felt at that time there was no way out.
The nonprofit group Blue Help works to reduce stigmas associated with mental health and law enforcement. It reported a record 228 current or former officers died by suicide in 2019, up from 172 in 2018. Florida ranked fourth with 15 suicides.
It comes to that crescendo at one time when everyone's just had enough.
Peter Shore is CEO of Retreat Behavioral Health in Lake Worth. He says because everybody has a voice these days, information about issues like race from even seemingly reliable sources can be dangerous.
Especially people who are vulnerable, who have been in a compromised situation because of their mental health, and they hear things and see things, and they hear it from our politicians.
97 and 98% of those police officers are very good people. White, black, Hispanic, Asian. They're good people. They're in it for the right reason. Then you got a few that makes it look bad.
Local restaurant owner Derek McCrae is a community activist and son of late civil rights leader Herman McCrae. He says policing must be reformed, but not defunded, in order to begin healing in communities.
They need to vet the police officers a lot better because before they come in, they need to track their history a lot better.
Meanwhile, George Anthony says he's building a better history for himself. He's sharing his message with audiences and even flies as a private pilot, which he says is good for his therapy. Life got better after he relieved the pressure on himself by shedding the shield of invincibility that's common in law enforcement.
Are you changed for good?
No, it's constant work. You know, I'm constantly working on myself. I'm constantly doing positive affirmations in the morning when I get up. I have a routine.
And Anthony agrees with Derek McCrae that law enforcement reform must be the first step toward repairing the communities they serve.
Those principles that we swore to uphold when we initially took the oath to become law enforcement, those are the things that we need to get back to. Those are the principles that we need to go out here and show that we can perform our jobs objectively and be equal to everyone.
George Anthony believes what's missing is trust.
Instead of defunding law enforcement, he believes the government should put more money into police departments so that they can implement community activities to bring everyone together.
He says police must prove to the community their actions are sincere about building better